Viewers, say hi to Yana. Yana is a traveling model and she happens to be in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia this week. And I thought that we should have a photo shoot with Yana.
Hi everyone.
Anybody ever told you you look like Olga Kurylenko?
Almost every day, but I have never had a photo looking like her.
Let's fix that problem. Let's reverse engineer this photo. Now the aim is not to make Yana look exactly like Olga Kurylenko in this Quantum of Solace poster, but the aim is to learn as much as we can when we try to do a shoot similar like this with the limited equipment that we have in our studio. Let's get started. Well, to start to shoot the part, we need to make her look the part. Let's make her look as dirty as Olga as much as we can. Well, how do I get brown on my background? I don't have a brown gel. I also don't have a brown backdrop. But from the previous episode, we know that you can get any color on the background if you have that colored gel. The only thing that's brown in my studio is this brown paper bag that I got from lunch. So I decided to cut this up, and let's find out if I stick this to my 600 watt per second studio monoblock and fire it to the background at an f value of f16, I might get brown. Well, it seems that the brown paper bag does give us a brown color, so you don't exactly need a gel, but the pointer here is always leave a gap because I need full power to go through this thick paper bag. You don't want to be sticking it too close, you might cause a fire hazard in the studio. Let's try this with Yana striking the pose now. Well, looking at the shot, we do get the background color, but there is light spill coming from the gap that we have from this light. I guess the only way we can do this is to block the light. Let's put a flag here and block the light. Let's get a flag. So what could I do to block this hole here? A small flag. So I decided to stick a small flag here, and this is a shot that I get. Well, you must be thinking, why doesn't the small flag work? After all, I'm covering the hole here. Well, the reason is because there's another big gapping hole at the back that's going to bounce light against the wall that's behind you, and that will light up Yana's face, giving a very huge highlight, which doesn't have on Olga's photo. I think we need a bigger flag, right? And so I reckon that with this big flag covering the top and the bottom, I won't get spillage of light on her hands and the gun and also on her face. So what I learned from this is that there is no such thing as a flag too big. And this is the photo. Well, looking at the shadow and how defined the shadow is, we deduced that it has to be a small, hard flash. So what is small and hard? Hot shoe flash. So let's try this setup. I'm gonna go with this hot shoe flash in front of Yana and set this to high power so that the shadow is darker and small enough, the shadow is gonna be very defined. Let's see what we get. Well, the upper part of the photo looks good, the shadow matches. But if you look at the lower part, well, the shadow is just so diffused. They're not hard anymore. So I thought that why not I add one more hot shoe flash down here. But this is what I get now. When you have two flashes, you're gonna have two shadows. And note something interesting. When two shadows overlap, they tend to be darker. So this setup doesn't work anymore. It makes the photo look worse. I would go for maybe a 600 watt studio monoblock because two lights couldn't cut it. So one big hard light may pull the trick off. But I know that the power shouldn't be so high. Let's go on minimal and Yana, you ready? Ouch. Looking at this photo, this light gives you the right shadow, but it's a little bit too big, lighting up Yana everywhere. We lost shadow on Yana's face and the right hand side of her body now. How do I make a big light small? Modifier. Let's add on a bundle and restrict the light so small. And when you make your light too small, you don't have enough of light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the power more. We are very close, just a little bit low on power. And let's find out. That is cutting out so much of light. A little bit more. ISO 200, shutter speed 200 at f16. And that's how you get a shot of Yana looking like Olga Kurylenko. Let's add some words to here so that it looks like exactly like that poster. Well, no let's shoot this will be complete until we post-process the photo to make it look as close as we can. And here is the annoying thing we have to do. We have to etch her out, use the pen tool, and then start adding texture on the wall, because if you look at the original poster, it has texture. So Jay is cool enough to post-process this. He added texture and cropping this now. And we gotta adjust the levels and curves a little bit so that it matches the coloration and the exposure of the original poster. If there's anything that kills us with Let's Shoot These projects like such, are the fonts. Posters like this probably have their fonts custom designed by font designers. And poor Jay has to draw the fonts now. And this is the final result after Jay's editing for half an hour. Tell us what you think. We'd like to hear your comments about this poster compared to the original ones. We're gonna improve on this series of Let's Shoot This. We're gonna summarize what we learned from all these shoots. And today's shoot, we learned that in lack of color gel, you can use colored paper. Make sure you breathe them, otherwise you're just gonna burn them. And make sure that when you breathe them, you don't end up producing too much of highlights. And we also learned that two light sources would just create two shadows. Ugly. And what I learned from Let's Shoot This of this episode, that bundles can make very interesting hard light, configurable to what you want. And I learned that in this episode, we had to create texture in post-processing. Perhaps in the next Let's Shoot This, we can create texture during the shoot. If you're a traveling model or photographer or an artist and you happen to be in our region, which is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, we'd love to meet up with you and feature you. And that's for today's episode. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell button, but also visit our website, support our e-learning courses so that we can continue making YouTube tutorials like this. You're not going to come to Malaysia anymore, right? I just feel bad to make you so dirty now that you're not going to come to Malaysia anymore. You're going to think that, oh, Malaysian photographers always make traveling models. Are we rolling? Yes. Come over this side. Not you, cameraman. You just love him, right? He's everywhere, right? Are we rolling?
Yes.
This is dedicated to Izzat, my lighting assistant. We gotta love him because he's everywhere. No, I just... Okay, never mind. Okay, we don't need this. Alright. One more time. Yep.